Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into, well, this should be interesting how social media filters the way we see love.
Yeah, those filters, the ones that make you look amazing. Well, today's about something way deeper.
It is. We're really looking at how social media, like the design of it, changes how we think about love itself.
Right. And for this deep dive, we're using this thought experiment.
Ooh, I love a good thought experiment.
It's from a paper called The Love Filter.
Okay.
And they imagine this platform, this super platform called Globo Connect.
So like everything all in one.
Yeah, think of it like all social media search engines, even your messages, all showing, how we connect as humans.
Wow, that's a lot of data.
It is. And the cool thing is Globo Connect, in this experiment, it has these filters.
Okay.
Each one is focused on one of the four ancient Greek types of love: eros, philia, storge, and agape.
Oh, that's fascinating. So by like looking at what each filter shows us.
We can start to see how the digital world,
Yeah.
how it's maybe changing how we see these very real forms of love.
Okay. I am so ready to break this down. Let's jump in.
Let's do it.
So, filter one, eros. This one's all about romantic love, right?
Yep, that passionate, can't live without you kind of love.
The kind of love that sells a lot of movies.
Exactly. Eros is that attraction, that initial spark, that desire.
The butterflies.
Yes. Now imagine you're scrolling through Globo Connect
Okay.
and you have that Eros filter
Really?
on. What are you seeing?
Okay, so I'm picturing a lot of dating app profiles.
Of course.
Where everyone's like super good looking and they're always on some amazing adventure.
Right.
And then all those like couple goals posts, the ones that make you wonder if anyone's actually that happy.
Totally. And let's not forget celebrity romance news.
Oh, yeah.
It's all drama and passion and, feeds right into that Eros filter.
And even just like ads for romantic getaways or like those perfumes that are supposed to,
make you irresistible.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing is, all this idealized romance actually good for us.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. It makes me think about all those articles about how dating apps are changing our expectations.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Like if you're constantly seeing this like perfect love, does it make real life more disappointing?
Yeah, it's a real possibility. If all you see are these whirlwind romances and these picture-perfect couples.
It sets the bar really high.
It does. And it's easy to start thinking your own relationship should be like that too.
Yeah.
Which can lead to so much pressure and maybe even a totally skewed view of what real love actually is.
Like we're being trained to just focus on the superficial stuff?
Yes, the looks, the grand gestures.
Instead of like the deeper stuff that's harder to put on Instagram.
Exactly. The less Instagrammable parts of a real connection. It makes you think.
It really does. Like, does seeing all those perfect couples online make actual connection feel less exciting?
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, are we starting to value the performance of love online more than the real thing?
Oh, that's deep.
Okay.
But love isn't just about romance, right? What about our friends?
Oh, yeah. That's a perfect segue to filter 2, philia, which is all about the love between friends.
Okay, so this filter would be highlighting all the ways we connect with people based on like...
shared interests, values, experiences, that kind of thing.
Exactly. So philia is about that feeling of like camaraderie, loyalty, and just having fun together.
Yeah, that shared joy. Think about it. You'd see all these online communities,
and hobbies.
Yeah, and all the posts celebrating friendship, those moments when gamers are supporting each other online.
Oh, it makes you think of all those heartwarming stories about online communities coming together to help someone.
Yes. That feeling of solidarity, that's a powerful expression of philia for sure.
It really is.
Yeah.
And Global Connect would definitely show us that. But here's the thing.
What's that?
Do shared interests online always equal real friendship?
That's the question, isn't it?
You could have hundreds of online friends, but how many would actually be there for you, in a crisis?
That's a great point. Think about it. How does this philia filter play into your own life? Good question. Have online interactions actually helped you build stronger friendships?
Or do you ever feel like you're just maintaining this surface level connection?
It's definitely something to be mindful of.
It is.
Yeah.
Social media can help us stay connected, but are those connections actually making our lives better?
Or are they just creating this sense of pseudo community?
Yeah, like a community that wouldn't actually be there for you in the real world.
Exactly. But, love isn't just about romance and friends.
No, it's not. There's also family.
That's right.
Yeah, family. Which brings us to filter 3. Storage.
That deep, unconditional love you find in families.
Right, storage is all about those bonds, you know?
Parents and children,
Yeah.
siblings, extended family. It's that sense of belonging, security, and
Shared history.
exactly.
And on Global Connect, I'm imagining this filter would show us like all the family photos.
Oh, definitely.
Lot updates all those cute posts about, parenting.
The wins and fails.
Exactly. Even stuff like home decor and recipes.
Yeah.
Anything that gives you those like warm, fuzzy family vibes.
Oh, and we can't forget about the pet photos.
Of course. Furry family members totally count.
They're part of the storage experience,
Right.
for sure. But here's where it gets interesting. You know,
Okay, I'm listening.
think about all that pressure to present this perfect image of family online.
Oh, yeah.
Are we really showing the whole picture, or are we just, curating the best moments for social media?
It's so true. All those perfect family vacations and those adorable matching outfits,
Right.
it makes it seem like everyone else has it all figured out.
And it can make your own family life feel
Kind of inadequate.
exactly like you're not measuring up.
Yeah, and that pressure to be perfect can actually make us feel worse about our own families.
Even if our relationships are totally fine in real life.
It's like we're constantly comparing ourselves to this like unrealistic ideal.
Right. Like that saying, don't compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel.
Ooh, I love that one. So how about you? Do you ever catch yourself curating a more perfect image of your family online?
I think we all do to some extent. It's tempting,
It is, especially when you see everyone else doing it.
Right. But it's important to remember that nobody's life is actually perfect.
No, it's not.
And those picture-perfect families online are only showing you a tiny part of their reality.
It's just a snapshot.
Exactly. But, there's another form of love that goes even beyond our closest relationships.
You're talking about filter 4, agape,
Yes, that unconditional love for all
the
humanity.
kind that inspires, acts of kindness, social justice, compassion for strangers,
Exactly. Agape is about recognizing that every human being has value.
and acting selflessly for the greater good.
Precisely. So think about it. On Global Connect, this filter would be showing you all the charitable campaigns,
Yeah.
social justice movements, those stories of everyday
yeah.
heroes, even philosophical discussions about love and compassion.
It's the kind of love that makes you want to go out and make a difference in the world.
It is. But it also makes you think about that whole issue of performative activism.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Are people always acting out of genuine compassion online?
Or is it about wanting to be seen as good by everyone else?
Right, like are they really doing it for the cause or for the likes and shares?
It's hard to know sometimes, isn't it?
It really is. It blurs the lines between actual altruism and, just social media posturing.
For sure. So I'm curious, when you engage with those causes online, what's your main motivation?
Honestly, that's a tough question to answer.
Hmm.
Sometimes I wonder that myself.
Is it a genuine desire to help, or are you also thinking about how it makes you look to others?
Yeah, it's something we all have to think about.
Definitely. Because true agape, it's
Yeah.
about way more than just posting a hashtag or sharing a feel-good story.
It's about actually living those values.
Exactly. It's about taking real action to make a difference. So we've seen how each of these love filters shapes what we see on Global Connect.
It's fascinating, right?
It is. But which form of love do you think would actually dominate this platform if it were real?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
All 4 are so important to the human experience, but I'd have to guess maybe Eros and Philia would get the most attention.
I think you're right. They're the ones that are, the most visually appealing.
And easy to understand.
Yeah. We love to see those beautiful couples, and those stories about friendship always make us feel good.
And let's not forget those algorithms.
Oh, yeah, they're designed to keep us scrolling.
And what's more engaging than love?
Exactly. So it's not just about what we see, it's also about how those algorithms actually prioritize certain types of love.
It's like they're shaping how we value different forms of love without us even realizing it.
Right. And it's not just the algorithms, it's us too. We're more likely to like and share content that fits into those dominant narratives about love.
Which brings us back to that question of authenticity. Are we really expressing ourselves online, or are we performing for an audience?
Are we curating our love lives for social media?
It's like we're highlighting the passionate, the heartwarming, the picture-perfect moments.
And filtering out the messy parts of real relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if all we see are these like idealized versions of love,
What does that do to our expectations?
I mean, are we setting ourselves up for disappointment?
I think so. If you're always comparing yourself to those perfectly staged, Instagram couples or,
All those heartwarming viral videos.
you're going to fall short. It's crucial to remember that social media is just a highlight reel.
It's not the whole story.
Exactly. And real love is way more nuanced and complex than what you see on a screen.
But isn't it more than just unrealistic expectations? Like, isn't there a danger of becoming desensitized to real love because we're so used to seeing these amplified versions online?
Yeah, it's like we're getting this constant sugar rush of love online.
Right.
And then real life just feels kind of bland in comparison.
It's like we're losing our taste for the real thing.
And if we're always bombarded with these like over-the-top expressions of love,
Don't the genuine, quieter moments in our own lives start to feel less special?
that's the danger, isn't it? Think about those quiet moments of connection,
With your partner, your family?
Yeah, like the shared glances, the inside jokes.
That unspoken understanding that you build over time.
Exactly. Those moments are so precious, but they're not really Instagrammable, are they?
They're not.
Hmm.
And in a world that's so focused on like grand gestures and big declarations of love,
Those quieter forms of love, they almost become invisible.
yeah, it's like they don't fit into those neat little
Yeah.
categories and filters that social media creates.
Exactly. And that brings us to the core question of this whole thought experiment.
Okay.
Is social media actually changing how we understand love itself?
Yeah.
Or are we just taking these ancient ideas of love?
And like forcing them into this new digital world.
Exactly.
Wow, that's the million-dollar question.
It really is.
I mean, it's hard to say for sure, but I think it's probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, social media has definitely given us new ways to connect and express love. Like, we can stay in touch with people far away, find communities that share our interests,
Yeah.
even support causes we care about.
So it's not all bad.
It's not. It can be a really powerful tool.
It can, but I think the key is being aware of the downsides too.
Right. We need to be mindful of how those filters are shaping how we see love.
Yes, and not let the online world make us forget the richness and complexity of love in our real lives.
So how do we do that? How do we navigate this digital world without letting it, mess with our understanding of love?
How do we find that balance?
Yeah.
How do we appreciate the good parts, but also stay critical of the bad?
Well, I think it starts with awareness.
Okay.
The more we understand how these filters work,
Yeah.
the better we can judge the information we're seeing and question those perfect images of love that we see online.
It's like we need to develop our own internal love filters.
Our own BS detectors.
Right. To help us tell the difference between what's genuine and what's just a performance.
Exactly. And it's not just about awareness. It's also about intention. What do you mean?
How can we use social media in a way that strengthens our real-life relationships?
Instead of taking away from them.
Right. How can we actually use those filters to our advantage?
Woo, I like that. So instead of letting those filters distort our view of love, we could actually use them to, shine a light on the love that's already there.
And create new opportunities for connection.
Exactly. Like imagine using the Eros filter not just for finding a partner, but for finding people who share your values.
Your interests.
Yeah, not just what you look like or where you travel.
And what about using the philia filter to build those deep friendships?
With people who challenge you and make you think.
Not just people who agree with you all the time.
And storage. Could you use that to create spaces where families can be real with each other?
Yeah. Sharing the ups and downs.
Without feeling like they have to pretend everything's perfect.
Exactly. A place where you can get support for the realities of family life.
Not just the Instagram-worthy moments.
That would be amazing.
And agape. What if we used that filter to connect with causes we really care about?
To learn more about social justice issues.
To find ways to actually make a difference.
It's about shifting our focus from performance to genuine connection.
Yeah. From wanting validation to making a real impact.
You could reclaim those filters, and use them to build a more loving and connected world.
Both online and off.
I love that idea.
Me too. That was an incredible deep dive.
It really was.
We started with this thought experiment about a made-up social media platform.
And we ended up talking about some really big questions about love and technology and how it's all connected.
It's amazing what happens when you take a step back and really think about the systems that shape our lives.
It is. I hope this deep dive has given everyone some food for thought.
I know it has for me. I'm definitely going to be more aware of how social media affects how I see love.
Me too.
And I'm going to be more intentional about how I use it.
Same here.
And I encourage everyone listening to do the same. Think about those 4 filters: eros, philia, storge, and agape.
And how they show up in your own online world.
Are you letting them control how you see love? Or are you using them to create more authentic connections in your life?
Because remember, those filters are just tools.
We get to choose how we use them.
We get to decide what kind of world we want to build with them.
And maybe by understanding how they work, we can move beyond the curated and the performative.
And create a more genuine, compassionate, and loving digital world.
That's a world I want to live in.
Me too.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep loving fiercely in all its forms.
Beautifully said.